Okay, so I finished with images and aesthetics. Now I want to speak about limiting the text. Because maybe some of you have slides or PowerPoints that are full of text, and let's try and look at, instead of throwing them away completely, how to adapt them and reduce the text. So first, again, the golden rule: a text is complete when nothing can be suppressed in it. So how much text can you remove while keeping the message clear? So that's the first thing I'm talking about, is how to read it.
We're talking about presentation slide, right?
Yeah, presentation slides.
So there could be no text because you are the guy that's going to tell us that.
Yeah.
There could be an image and that's it.
That's all, yeah. Right, I just want you to have it, I just want you to read this. That's from your website. Is that true, by the way? Yeah, more or less.
It doesn't say anything.
It's from your corporate website. Okay. Now read this. It's the same sentence. Yeah. Which is easier to read? The bottom one. Why? The serif and sans serif. So when you're using fonts, don't use serif fonts. Serif fonts are the ones with the little curls on them. Yeah? Use sans serif, because on a projector, sans serif is easier to read. For reading on a text in a book, it's easier to read serif fonts. Don't ask me why. It's something to do with our eyes. Okay? You heard this before?
I heard this for reading in the iPad.
The iPad.
That you should read that you should be showing sans serif fonts.
Right.
You should text in.
Yeah, there's something about screens and light, I don't know exactly, but anyway, as you see, it works. Next. So, minimum font 32. Okay?
There was a good video about making the presentation. The guy says you have to take the font, which is you check who is the oldest guy in the audience, and you take the font.
So, minimum font size. Capitals. Very hard to read capitals, because we can't distinguish individual words. So, no capitals in your slides. Okay, now let's talk about reducing the text. So imagine you have a slide like this, and instead of throwing it away, we're going to try and save it. Okay? By the way, just have a read, because this is my personal opinion about presentations and stuff. Chilitos are cool. Too cool.
Hipsters.
No, hipster. Being hipster is okay. Being chilito is okay.
It means you're a marketer. You're not a person of substance.
Yeah, you're not a person of substance. Yeah, like a fake. No?
Yeah.
So I've got a text like this, and I want to. I've got it. I know it's bad, but how can I save it? So I'm going to take out the key points in each sentence. Remove everything else. Now, what should I have done? The title is an argument. Okay? If you can, it's not possible all the time, but the title of each of your slides should be an argument. It should say something. It shouldn't just be presentations in Spain. That's a title, it doesn't say anything. Here it is, professionals in Spain make poor presentations. And then what I've done is I've moved the 4 main points over. So this is the structure that I'm using. This is the structure, this is the layout of the slide. I recommend this layout, okay? It's good to have white space on slides. Don't fill every part of your slide with stuff, okay? You've got slides are free, you can have as many as you want. So leave this space free, put your title across the top, and here put your 4 main points, or put your graph, or put your photo. Okay?
2-line title.
2-line title.
2-line titles should they be 1 line?
Yeah, I prefer it to 1 line, but it's it's short enough. It could be reduced a little. Again, if you're going in the default in PowerPoint, and I highly recommend you switch off the default, that every slide you take in PowerPoint, you do the blank one, completely blank, and you put the things where you want yourself, you would have got this. That's what PowerPoint does automatically. It centers the title, and it gives you bullet points, and it just looks like every other slide. It looks boring. Compare the two. Which do you prefer? Okay, another thing about text.
I have a question.
Yes.
About the approximation of the title. So I've heard from many people, like at the university, that okay, it's not good, and you said that the title should be an argument. So many people say, okay, you should never include like a question.
No, the title should. I never said the title should be an argument.
I thought that.
No question.
No, sorry. I mean,
because many people. So for example, many
sorry,
people,
just the title of your presentation in
the title,
general.
No, the title of the slide.
The title of the slide, yes.
Like for instance, okay, you say you make a statement in the title, right? And many people say, okay, you should not include a question as a title of the type. What is the problem? Why are we doing this? So I never sort of understood this. Why? I don't know if it's like a common practice.
Okay, let me tell you why. Imagine that you're here. Okay? You're in the audience, and hello? Imagine that you're in the audience, and your title is not an argument, it's a question, for example. And you go to sleep just for 5 seconds, or you look at your phone, or you send a tweet, and you miss the beginning of my point. And then you tune back into the presentation. Having the title as an argument means that you can very quickly get back into what I'm saying. You see what I mean?
But I mean, still, you know, the question is, it says that you're going to try to answer. You know, this is what the content of the slide is about. You know, answering that.
Right.
You could say why professionals in Spain make poor presentation.
Yes, but if your audience member has gone to sleep for a majority of your point, then they're not going to find the answer when they wake up. And by having it written across the top of your slide, at whatever point they wake up during that point that you're making, they can very quickly get the answer before you move on.
Yeah, but then this is a content slide. Like this slide you can send to somebody through email and he will understand. And couldn't we say the same with a picture and then explain it?
Yeah.
Which one is best?
Which one is best? It depends on how important it is, depends on how much you want to really get this through to their heads, depends on your style. Some people prefer, depends on your audience.
Will it get through to their heads better if there is a text or if there is an impacting image?
Your audience is going to be made up of different types of people. Some people prefer to read things in text, some people prefer to see visuals, some people prefer emotional arguments, and other people prefer logical arguments. So it's good to have a mix of everything in your presentation so that you are speaking to all the different types of learners that you have. So I wouldn't suggest that all of your presentation follows exactly that style of slide, but it's good to have one in every now and again so that those very logical people, like researchers, get you with that slide. Okay? Okay, so this slide, a graph. Imagine that there are 200 people in the room and you're sitting much further back. What would be the problem with this slide? You don't see the bottom. You don't see the bibliographic reference. Okay?
Is it necessary? I mean, that you see it?
Is it necessary that you see it?
Maybe it's there just because to show to you that you took that from somewhere, right? But it's
okay,
like,
so
you really need to know exactly which year or which.
It's important to put in it's important sometimes to give your bibliographic reference, but if you put it so small that nobody can see, There's no, putting something in a slide that nobody can see or read, there's no point, okay? So, that in a big room, no one can read. Maybe even you can't read it, I don't know. So, it's the style. You know, there are many styles of bibliographic references. So the best style is the Harvard citation style, which is the name and the year. The name of the author and the year. And with that, if someone is interested enough to go, that statistic is very interesting, or I question it, they can very quickly note McCarthy 2008, and then after the presentation they can email you or speak to you and say, can you tell me about that statistic that you used? Okay? So instead of giving the full one, like you do in a paper, give the Harvard citation style, name and date.
So that's what I was saying. It's not necessary for them to know exactly the details, but to know that this is taken from somewhere.
Exactly.